This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for April 2, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, father allegedly kills a daughter at a Kingston home. Police are in search of a father who is believed to have killed his daughter during a dispute at their home in Kingston on Sunday morning. The deceased has been identified as 17-year-old Shadiki Culvert of Barry Street in the parish. Reports are that about 1:10 a.m., a dispute developed between the father and the daughter when a knife was used to inflict a wound to Shadiki's chest. She was taken to hospital where she died while receiving treatment. The Jamaica Constabulary Force said it is reaffirming its commitment to reducing incidents of domestic violence through educating citizens and investigating all reported cases of domestic violence. The public is being reminded that the JCF presently has 10 domestic violence intervention centers across the island. The JCF is also encouraging persons to report all suspected cases of domestic violence, even if they are not the victim. Musician shot in Portland. A music artist was shot and injured by a gunman at a bar in Buff Bay, Portland on Saturday. The artist has since been admitted to hospital, while police have launched a search for the alleged shooter. Information reaching the news is that around 12:55 p.m., the artist was inside the bar when a man who is reportedly known to him approached armed with a handgun and stood in front of the establishment. Police reported that the man fired 3 shots inside the bar and then walked into the facility and fired 1 more shot which caught the artist in the shoulder. The man then left the area on foot. Residents assisted the musician to the hospital where he was admitted. It is understood that the artist was visited by police at the hospital but had indicated he did not wish to give a statement or engage in any court proceedings in relation to the matter. Despite this, police initiated an investigation which led them to the residence of the alleged shooter, but he was not seen. 6 shot, 2 fatally in Moko. 2 men were shot dead and 4 others injured during an attack at the Darlow district in Moko, Clarendon on Saturday night. The dead men have been identified as 37-year-old Erwin Wright, otherwise called Joe, and Jason Lewin, 24. Both men are construction workers from Darlow district. The 4 injured men have since been admitted to hospital, with 1 being in critical condition. The 6 men were at a shop having drinks when a white Toyota Probox motorcar drove up and the 2 men armed with handguns exited the vehicle. 1 of the men entered the shop and the other stood outside. Shortly after, they opened gunfire at the victims. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, the lifeless bodies of Wright and Lewin were seen lying face down along the roadway with what appeared to be gunshot wounds to their backs, heads, and upper bodies. The other victims were rushed to the hospital for treatment. Police reportedly found 15 9mm spent casings while processing the scene. No motive has been established for the attack, the police said. Driver injured in Golden Spring gun attack. A man was injured in a gun attack along the main road in Golden Spring, St. Andrew this morning. The incident happened sometime before 11 o'clock. According to eyewitnesses, the man was in his motor truck when he was attacked by men traveling in another vehicle. Residents reported hearing explosions and went to investigate. The driver was found slumped over his steering wheel. He was then rushed to the hospital. Bankman opened gunfire on motorists in 2 parishes. Police are probing 2 separate incidents in which men on motorcycles opened fire on motor vehicles Friday night. Police said the first incident occurred at 7:15 p.m. in Shrewsbury District in Withorn, Westmoreland. It was reported that 2 persons were driving in a motor car when, upon reaching a section of the roadway, a motorcycle with 2 men on board rode up and the pillion opened gunfire at them. They managed to drive away without being injured and subsequently made a report to the police. Lawmen processed the scene and found 7 spent casings. A little over an hour later, the second incident occurred around 8:40 p.m. on Kirk Crescent near Barnett Street in Montego Bay, St. James. In the incident, police said 3 people were traveling in a motor vehicle when a motorcycle rode up and the pillion opened gunfire at them and then made good his escape. None of the people in the vehicle were injured. Supreme Court ruling concerning security guards takes effect. Following a ruling handed down by the Supreme Court last September, security guards providing services are now regarded as employees, not contract workers. The ruling became effective Saturday. However, there are still concerns about the terms of the new employment contracts offered by security companies, and based on this, some security guards have refused to sign. The guards said the companies warned that failure to sign the new contracts would result in them not being allowed to work. In an interview with the news, the president of the Jamaica Association for Private Security, Teddy Lee Gray, said the move is a bittersweet one. This is a great day for security officers. We are officially employees after working like this for over 30 years. But the bitterness is that for persons with years of service, some security companies are forcing them to sign a one-year contract. But we are telling them, don't let anyone force you to sign. He has also called on the Ministry of Labor to intervene in this matter. 99 road deaths between January 1 and March 30. 99 people have died in 88 road crashes between January 1 and March 30 this year, the Ministry of Transport and Mining's Road Safety Unit has disclosed. Director in charge of the unit, Deirdre Hudson Sinclair, said that although the number of deaths is a 20% reduction compared to the 123 over the same period last year, she was reminding road users to obey the rules and to continue to show increased caution as the fatalities have already surpassed the unit's projections for the period this year. According to Hudson Sinclair, the 2022 figures released by the unit showed that 488 people died as a result of 425 crashes, with motorcyclists accounting for the highest, 142 fatalities, followed by pedestrians and private motor vehicle drivers, which accounted for 109 and 85 deaths respectively. She also reported increased fatalities among other categories of road users when compared to 2021. They are PPV drivers and passengers, commercial motor vehicle drivers, pedestrians, private motor vehicle passengers, and pillion passengers. Motorcyclists and motorists must ensure they use proper protective equipment when traversing the roadways and stick to the speed limits in the different areas. Pedestrians must remember to look right, then left, then right again, and use safe places to cross. They should also wear light or bright clothing at night and walk facing the oncoming traffic, she reminded. Hudson Sinclair also urged the road users to look out for each other on the roads and to be vigilant as road safety is everybody's business. The latest figures released by the RSU showed that in addition to the 20% reduction in deaths, fatal crashes have decreased by 18% when compared with a similar period in 2022. The road deaths by categories are pedestrians at 24%, private motor vehicle drivers at 12%, private motor vehicle passengers 6%, motorcyclists 30%, commercial motor vehicle passengers 4%, pedal cyclists 8%, public passenger vehicle drivers 1%, pillion passengers 4%, and public passenger vehicle passengers 9%. Vulnerable road users such as pedestrians, pedal cyclists, motorcyclists, and pillion riders account for 67% of the road users killed since 2023. In terms of the areas where the most crashes have occurred, St. Andrew accounted for 20%, St. Catherine 14%, Area 1, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and Westmoreland accounted for 19%, Area 2, Portland, St. Mary, and St. Anne accounted for 11%, Area 3, Clarendon, Manchester, and St. Elizabeth 31%, Area 4, St. Andrew Central, St. Andrew South, Kingston Eastern, Kingston Central, and Kingston Western 15%, and Area 5, St. Andrew North, St. Catherine North, St. Catherine South, and St. Thomas 23% of the road fatalities since the start of the year. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.